Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Yang. We're going to talk about the February 3rd Iowa caucus, and I'm going to give you my predictions today what's going to happen for Andrew Yang and for every competitor he has in the February 3rd Iowa caucus. I am very excited about the February 3rd Iowa caucus. It's kind of like a match, that's going to kind of light the blaze that's going to lead us to November 2nd. Um, it is needlessly complex, and that is going to dull the excitement a little tiny bit. But there's some excitement here, and so I want to get. So what I want to do today is I want to just kind of give you an overview of what's going to happen on February 3rd, and I'm going to give you predictions about exactly what's going to occur on February 3rd, who the winners are going to be, who the losers are going to be, and what it all means in the context of Andrew Yang, because he's the only person that matters in 2020, right, when it comes to the Dems, right? And actually, the only person that matters for all of America, because the Democrats have a choice. You could choose Andrew Yang, or you could choose the person that's going to lose against Donald Trump. That's the only frame that matters. That is the reality. That's what's going to happen, right? The Democrats are going to figure out that Andrew Yang is the future of this nation, or they're going to choose who they want to lose against Donald Trump. That's it. That's the only choices that are going to happen for from February 3rd all the way up through, right? Yeah, it's driving me crazy getting rid of this word right. Thank you guys for your patience. I am working on it. I'm trying so hard. The first step is just my awareness. I'm so sorry that it's interrupting your videos for my awareness of it. I'm working on it. Thanks for your patience. All right, let's get back to it. Let's talk about this. Okay. So the February 3rd Iowa caucus, it's coming up on Monday, right? Today is Saturday. It's literally 2 days away, right? Very exciting, very exciting. And so what's going to happen on that day? Well, one, it's outrageously complex, right? So everything I'm going to tell you in this video is a simplification of what's going to happen on that day. But I'm going to get into it as gritty as I can for you. There's 1,600 sites, and people are going to vote publicly. That's what's really unusual about a caucus, is you vote publicly. It's not a private vote. And people are going to stand on one side of the room and say, I'm for Sanders, and walk over and stand in the Sanders corner, or I'm for Klobuchar, and they'll go over and stand in the Klobuchar corner. I'm for Andrew Yang, and they'll go over and stand in the super cool Andrew Yang corner, right? So that's what's going to happen, and they're going to choose. Now, there's three layers to the February 3rd caucus. It's all going to happen in a single day. We'll know the results by the end of the day, and on Tuesday we'll definitely know where everything stands. Pretty much, right? There might be some straggler stats that come out. It's not that important. All right, so basically on Monday, okay, what's going to happen is we are going to see the total votes. This is going to be everyone who votes in Iowa at 1,600 different sites. Now, just so you're aware, in 2016 we had 177,000 people vote. Okay, we had 177,000 people vote in the entire caucus. Is that good? No, it's absolutely terrible. It's terrible. Okay, there are 3.1 million people who live in Iowa. That means about less than 6% of Iowa people actually participate in the Iowa caucuses. Ugh, that's ugly. Okay. All right. So after the total vote, so basically people will caucus and they'll do a total vote. So they'll count everyone. Now, just so you're aware, shockingly, in 2016, that number was secret. The number was secret. That number was secret. What the heck? Why on earth would that number be secret? Who knows, right? But it was. So, but this year it's going to be totally public. That's good. That's transparency. That's a good, right? It may actually make it more complicated, and may there's going to be narratives on Monday and Tuesday where we're seeing people declaring multiple winners. That's very much a reality. All right, so you have the total votes going to come first, right? And then, so let's talk about that. And I'm going to give you my predictions right now for the total vote for every single candidate, okay? Now, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you Andrew Yang first for every single one of these. Andrew Yang is going to get 9% of the vote. That's my prediction. Sanders is going to get 20% of the vote. Biden is going to get 18% of the vote. Klobuchar is going to get 16% of the vote. Bloomberg is going to get 15% of the vote. Warren is going to get 10% of the vote. Pete Buttigieg is going to get 6% of the vote. Steyer's is going to get 5% of the vote. Gabbard will get 1% of the vote. And Bennett, Delaney, and Patrick will all get 0% of the vote. Okay? That's what's going to happen in the final. I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen in the total vote. By the way, a lot of numbers here, right? In the comments below, I got a link, and all of this is available in a little website page I made, and you can see my predictions chiseled in stone, so that on Tuesday you can come right onto my video on Tuesday and go, Scott, you are an absolute fool. Look at how wrong you were. Or you can all bow down and say, Scott, you were 100% right, and you're a genius. One or the other. I love politics. And I love prediction. And I think if you're going to be a political commentator, you should do prediction, right? It takes courage. And if you don't do prediction, any pundits who do not do prediction before the event, that is intellectual cowardice, in my opinion, right? Okay. So I'm putting it on the line here. I'm telling you now what's going to happen on Monday, right? And that way you can see what my political genius or my political tomfoolery actually is. I put my money where my mouth is, right? So, well, no money, but like my prestige, my political prestige knowledge is on the line here. So let's see what happens. This is going to be fun. All right, so that's the total vote. Okay, now, what happens next in the caucus? The total vote, right? Everybody who scored less than 15% gets swept away, and Iowa literally calls them non-viable. Ooh, that's an ugly word. So who would be non-viable? So who would be the viables and who would be the non-viables from the total count? Sanders, Biden, Klobuchar, and Bloomberg would be viable. Okay? Non-viables would be Warren, Yang, Buttigieg, Steyer, Gabbard, Bennett, Delaney, and Patrick. Okay? All right. Sad. I don't like to see Yang in that group, right? But I think Iowa's going to determine Yang as a non-viable. Let's be super clear. I understand that Yang Gang is on the ground and they are doing a ton of work. I watch Kai Watson all the time. I am 100% aware of the amazing hard work that is being done here. Yang, in my opinion, my prediction that he's not going to get any, that he's going to be determined in Iowa in the total vote as a non-viable, has no reflection on their work. It has more, in my opinion, a reflection on what Iowa is able to see as brilliant and valuable. It's more a reflection on the Iowans than Yang Gang. It's just my opinion. All right. Okay, so you have the total vote. Okay. Next, you're going to have the final vote. All the non-viables are swept away, and the people who voted for them re-vote for the viables. Okay. So there's only four viables under my prediction: Sanders, Biden, Klobuchar, and Bloomberg. And here's what the final votes will come in. So I predict that Sanders will get 47% of the final vote. Biden will get 44% of the final vote. Klobuchar will get 3% of the final vote. Bloomberg will get 6% of the final vote. And then everybody else will get 0% because no one can vote for them. So Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Tom Steyer, Tulsi Gabbard, Bennett, Delaney, and Patrick, they're all 0. And that's the structure of the caucus, okay? Now, once you got that final set, that gets converted into state delegates, okay? So essentially, Iowa is going to send 41 delegates to the national convention, okay? Here is how many delegates will be given to each of the candidates, to every single candidate on Monday, okay? And we'll know these numbers fully by Tuesday. I predict that Sanders is going to come out of Iowa with 19 delegates. Biden is going to come out with 18 delegates. Klobuchar is going to come out with 1 delegate. And Bloomberg is going to come out with 2 delegates. That's my prediction. Andrew Yang is regrettably going to come out with goose egg, 0 delegates. And Elizabeth Warren is going to come out with goose egg, 0 delegates. Pete Buttigieg is going to come out with 0 delegates. Tom Steyer, deservedly, is going to come out with 0 delegates. Tulsi Gabbard is going to come out with 0 delegates. And Bennett, Delaney, and Patrick will all come out with 0 delegates. Okay? That is my prediction. All right. Let's talk about this a little bit, right? So, should we hang our heads as Yang Gang that that Yang Gang went to Iowa, gave their blood, sweat, and tears, poured their soul into that state, and here I am, Scott Garibay, predicting that Yang is going to get 0 delegates on Monday or Tuesday. Absolutely not. Right? And here's why. Okay, why can we hold our heads high and celebrate Yang's performance even in Iowa if he walks away with 0 delegates? Here's why. Okay, in my opinion, I think Yang has already won Iowa. Right? What is Yang's victory in Iowa? I'll tell you Yang's victory in Iowa. It's symbolic, but symbols have meaning, great meaning. Banners are important, right? Symbols are important. I'm a big person for believing in symbols, right? And to me, like one of the biggest victories that Andrew Yang has had in Iowa is Kai Watson's smiling face in Iowa. Kai Watson, that dude, he quit college, went to Iowa, walked all over Iowa, knocked on doors and said, please vote for Andrew Yang. That is not a small thing. That is huge. That is so incredibly important. It is massive. I cannot tell you how important it is. It's massive, right? Andrew Yang is the type of leader that gets American youth excited, right? Joe Biden is not. There are no Kai Watsons for Joe Biden. None. That's the case. Are there for Bernie? Yes, there are. But they're not for Bernie. They're for socialism. Socialism has always excited the youth, right? Now, the reality is, because it's a hair's breadth from revolution, right? And the reality is, when Yang uses the word revolution, you're talking like, it's a concept, right? Like, but when socialists talk about revolution, they got a history with the word, right? Like, like it's a little different, right? Yeah, exactly. So so I'm not. So the point is, I don't even think Bernie really has any Kai Watsons. He just socialism has socialism has youth, but Yang actually attracts young. Andrew Yang attracts and really is exciting to young voters, right? And to people who are interested in politics. It is exciting, right? And I really, it's huge. It's incredible what Kai Watson did to put Andrew Yang first in his life and to really put democracy and patriotism and the vote, the American vote, right? He sacrificed for it. And here's the thing, right? Kai, he is a symbol for 1,000 people like him, right? Who really put Yang first in their lives, right? Now, I've done what I can to support Yang, but I'm not all in, right? I'm supporting Yang. I have done a good bit to you, and I have my vote queued, right? But I could have done more. I'm not sure Kai Watson could have done more than he did. And the fact that there are 1,000 Kai Watsons, right? And the fact that Kai Watson has such a broad and powerful message platform, and he is using it for Andrew Yang, and he is a young American, that is incredibly exciting. That is incredibly exciting. And I think it was absolutely necessary. And I think Americans see that, and Iowans saw that. And I think even though I really don't think Andrew Yang is going to get a single delegate in Iowa, I still think every door knock was worth it. Every footfall was worth it. And I'm incredibly proud of everybody who worked really, really hard. I hope that comes through. Like, I hope, I know this is kind of my wife, I shared this with my wife, and she's like, I think you're wrong. Like, by the way, my wife thinks I'm wrong a lot. That's okay though. And so, but the other thing is, I want to share with you also. I'm sharing this with you because I think this is what's actually going to happen, right? And I'm working on it. I'm trying to get rid of that word right. I'm aware of it now. So here's the thing. We want to keep moving forward, and the reason why I'm sharing this with you, even though it's dark news, I don't think he's going to get delegates out of this. The reason why I'm sharing this, I want to be honest, and why is honesty important to me? It's one of the reasons why I'm voting for Andrew Yang. If honesty wasn't important for me, if honesty wasn't like a really big deal, and I wanted somebody who was willing to spin words and say whatever was, whatever smelled good or felt good, or or was comfortable to the ears, then I could go pick any one of those politicians that was on stage in debate number 7, couldn't I? Right? Exactly. But on February 7th, we're going to see a return to honesty. We're going to see a return to a person who where words matter and nobility matters and honesty matters, and he's not a traditional politician, and he doesn't have that politicians politicians have a reputation for not being bound to honesty, right? And I'm trying to be honest with you. I would not bring this harsh word if I didn't think it was the reality. So take a look at my prediction. You can see all the numbers I just presented in hard data at the link below. Thank you for letting me share it with you. And also, this is one of those times where I'll be super happy to be wrong. If he comes out with 10 delegates and Scott Garibay was ridiculously wrong, I'll be more than happy to take my lumps, right? And you can all call me fool on Tuesday, but I don't think I will be. I think I'm calling this the way it's going down. Let's see. I'm very, very interested. I'm very excited. Thanks for letting me share this with you today. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.